But then, okay, so I hit the record button now, so we're recording. And then when I send this to you, you can, if you want to edit certain things out or use it just raw, do whatever works for you. So I hit the record button, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. Take it away.
Okay. Oh, so you just recorded it right now?
Mm-hmm.
Or press record?
Yep.
Cool. Hi, everyone. Coach Karen here. And today I have a guest with me. Her name is Katie Milton. And recently Katie invited me to do an interview series, and it was really fun. And I thought, maybe I should do an interview too. It'd be fun to do that a whole lot more often. I've only done it one other time, and I really enjoyed that. So I'd like to be doing this a lot more often, and I'm so glad, Katie, that you would like to do this interview with me.
Well, I appreciate you reaching out and asking, because I think that it's fun to have an opportunity to network with other women entrepreneurs like yourself in real life, instead of just reading about it on a thread, on a post, or something like that. So thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Cool, sweet. Yeah, and you know what? I know I did an interview series with you, but I actually don't know a whole lot about you. Just the fact that we connected through Facebook, and then we just started emailing each other. But if you could tell me and whatever I guess the audience is watching, what you do and what you're passionate about. I know a little bit, but I want you to.
Okay, yeah. Well, I am a life coach, and I coach women entrepreneurs. I am a very passionate change maker, and I coach women entrepreneurs to do difficult, win at life, and build a better brain. So it's pretty awesome, and I have a creative methodology that I use that incorporates travel as a medium for transformation. And that directly relates to the experience and the story that I bring to the world, because the biggest way that I was transformed in my life was through travel, and I want to share that with other people.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Yeah, I love that. I have had my own travels this past winter. I think I came to this realization that I needed to travel more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the first vacation that I had in a long time, which was to Costa Rica in December. And when I went there, I felt so good. And I was thinking that I should do it a whole lot more often, because it felt so good, especially in the winter when, I don't know, just things to me get stagnant.
Yeah.
Here in New York, winter time, it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, a lot of stress builds up. So I think having my vacations were so almost therapeutic to me.
Awesome.
During the winter.
Yeah. There's a lot of transformation that comes from travel, and sometimes people don't even realize, unless we are paying attention or being aware, being real thoughtful of that. And an interesting side note is that I think that I might be moving to Costa Rica in November. Yeah, so yeah.
Costa Rica, I want to go to again.
Yeah.
It's a nice, breath of fresh air, last December. So, wow, that's great.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll have to stay in touch, and you'll have to give me your pointers, because I've never been to Costa Rica. That's a new country for me. So.
Even though I've gone to one town, and Costa Rica is huge, but.
Where were you at?
This place called Tamarindo. It's
Okay.
a big surfing spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just wonderful to be at the beach. I was supposed to take surfing lessons, but I think I backed out last minute, knowing that I would just be too stressed out, on vacation, and that kind of defeated the purpose for me going on vacation at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I allowed my friends to go do their surfing, and I just stayed on the beach and took pictures with them. So that was pretty cool, I think.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so let's see. I had some questions for you, and I forgot them, so I'm just going to relook at the email that I sent you earlier. Well, basically, I think I just wanted us to have, the most casual conversation ever. That was perfectionism. And be able to find it because I'm scrolling, trying to.
Well, I think that, as a matter of fact, I think that I have your email right here. So let me see if I can take a look at it. Because you had some really good questions about some really good questions, and I'm wondering if reading just a bit of the dialogue that you and I had would be helpful context for our conversation.
I just had like 2 questions.
Okay, yeah.
And so like the first one was, so my audience is basically I call my audience the self-aware perfectionist woman who wants to make her health go from good to great, and she knows she's complicating her life and trying to get things just like right, and often stops before she starts, so that she doesn't mess up or fail. I realized like I have 2 bullet points here, and they're not necessarily questions. They're kind of just like guidelines, like how would you address, I guess, a person who does want to get healthier but knows that she's sort of like doing things so perfectionistically that things, I don't know how to phrase it. I think you know what I mean.
Well, I think that you might be saying that this person is kind of getting in their own way.
Exactly.
Kind of. And the first thing that I'll say is that it's difficult for me to respond to that question, since it's like we're talking about like a fictitious person. Because in coaching, really all, when I work with clients, everything is different because each client is unique and each client is different, so there's never a hard and fast rule, do this or do that, or, here are 10 things to blah, blah, blah. There's not a cookie cutter. So, it would be easier for me to like answer that question if I were, working with one individual. And, interestingly enough, sometimes other people find insight from my responses to that one individual. So one thing that we might consider doing, is, we could consider doing a role play. So for example, you could pretend that you are your, person, this perfectionist. Okay. All right. Great. Yeah. And so, so we can do that and just spend a minute or two just, asking some coaching questions around it and having some coaching dialogue to see where it leads us. Because another thing that I'd like to add about coaching is that a lot of times, people, I think that they have a misconception that a coach tells people how to do something, or is like a mentor or a consultant or something like that. Which coaches can wear a lot of different hats. But what a coach does is a coach works with a person in a co-creative fashion, in a co-collaborative way, to help that person find the answers to helping them maximize their potential, to living their best life. And so, when I work with clients, like I'm not telling anybody to do anything, And so let's role play or dialogue a little bit, and then I think that you'll probably get a clearer sense of like what I'm talking about. So the question that you referenced is, you see yourself as being a perfectionist, you're aware, and you want to make your health, you want to take it from good to great, right? So as a coach, the first question I would ask you is, like, just tell me a little bit more about that. Like, tell me why that's important to you.
Okay. Well, let's see. For me, because I feel like I embody that type of person. Because the whole reason why I started my own niche is because I thought about who I was a couple of years ago, and I think like back then I really wished that I knew that there was a health coach out there, or like health coach was a thing. Health coaching was an actual profession that I could look up and find for guidance. I think I'm sort of just identified the person who I used to be a couple of years ago, and I think I'm still a version of that person, but like a whole lot more self-aware of myself. In terms of being perfectionistic and catch myself in these like polarized sort of ways of thinking. So I guess, why is it important to me? I guess for me, I think think I just would like, I don't know, it is important to me because I would like to be the best version of myself, like a lot of people do, and I think perfectionists tend to want to be like almost desperate to be like the best version of themselves, and I think I sometimes toggle in between.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I just had some car alarms going off in my background too, so we're gonna have a very colorful recording. So yeah, sorry. Please continue.
But yeah, like this is important to me, just because I'd like to be the best version of myself, and sometimes I toggle in between telling myself that, oh, I have to do like these exercises I don't like, or I have to eat like these foods that I don't necessarily like because it serves my higher self, and yet at the same time, I'm not sure if I'm in a position or in a position of like desperation. So I don't know. Sometimes I'm just not clear with it, and I would like to be.
Okay, so you just said something that was really interesting that I'm not certain that I'm, clear on. So I want to ask you some questions to clarify. So, you said that there are sometimes you want, you are telling yourself to eat these certain things, and you can't determine or decipher if it's because you really want to, because it's out of a loving place, or because if you're just doing it to, mark a box or something. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so it's important to you to be able to understand the difference?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. That's a good question. And a couple thoughts that I have on that. The first thing that I'll ask you is what does it feel like when you're making a decision from a loving place?
That's a good question. It's like when it comes from a loving place, like
Okay.
There's still like harsh. There's still like ego pull to it, or like a push, or like a should, like behind behind the thought.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I call it shoulding on myself.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And finger wagging. And a lot of my actions in the past have been like from this like should sort of mentality. And I toggle back and forth between like shooting on myself and going about it in a more loving way. So the decision from a loving place that came to my mind was my decision to end my job at the end of this month. And I think this coaching session is coming at a really like good time because my last day is tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, right. Great timing. But yeah, like I think when I decided to like set the date on the last day of my job, it was really scary, and there were parts of me that were like, never mind, like don't do it. This is gonna be bad news. But then there was another part of me that was like, there's no other way. Like eventually, I'm going to have to do it. So, I think it was just it was just signaling.
Okay.
It was actually almost neutral, like feeling, but it was kind of just like almost.
It sounds like there was like an ease and a flow, that it was just something that you just walked into. There was no pushing or shoulding, like you say,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I would encourage you to remember that feeling and internalize that feeling. And, the next time you find yourself in a place where you're uncertain of which one it is you're feeling, now you kind of have something to compare it to. And to, take this one step further, I'd like to ask for an example of a time that you felt that you were, making a decision out of desperation?
I think that was this morning when I was telling myself to get out of bed. And I did, but I really didn't want to.
Okay. 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 And so another question that I have is that it's, fun as a coach when I work with my clients to, get to work with them a little bit on their limiting beliefs. Okay. So, let's play a game. Let's play a game for just a minute. What if you stayed in bed?
Oh, well, I would just be incredibly late.
Okay. Incredibly late too.
And allowed myself to sleep without an alarm, I think I would be maybe 3 hours late.
Okay.
As I said that, I felt this unpleasant feeling, oh, that's not nice or not very good. I tend to should on myself, even without the word in there. It's almost inherent.
And so another thing that I'm trying not to jump ahead of myself because I'm so excited about the things that you're saying. That's one of my challenges as a coach. I just get so excited about what's happening. I'm like, oh. So.
Because I'm kind of a new coach.
Uh-huh.
And I graduated only 6 months ago, but my experience is still in my opinion, still pretty limited. So this is great.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, let me know anytime. The other thing that I'm curious about, is just these feelings. I'd encourage you to play around with noticing them. Just the next time that these feelings come up for you, just do a body check-in. Check in. Just take a couple deep breaths and just check in where you're at and be okay, where's this coming from? And pretend kind of like you're a scientist and be okay, I'm a scientist and I get to observe this situation or these circumstances or this being or whatever it is. And I get to hypothesize what I think is happening in this circumstance. So based on this and this and this and this, I hypothesize that, I'm feeling this way because of X, Y, Z. And then you don't have to do anything with that information. It kind of seeps into your subconscious. And now you become more aware of what is happening with yourself. And awareness is the beginning of choice. Because now, once you have an ability to better understand what's going on, the next time it comes up, you're going to know a little bit more. You're going to know a little bit more. You're going to know a little bit more. Until you finally get to that place one day where you're like, oh my gosh, I got it. I'm having this major aha moment. Okay? Because it sounds like there's a lot of fun things that's going on for you at the moment. There's a touch of some limiting beliefs in there that, would be fun to play around with. There's, tolerations. Are you familiar with tolerations work at all? Tolerations, this work is one of my latest favorite things. I'm actually in the process of creating a tolerations challenge. So when that comes out, I definitely encourage you to participate and give me your feedback on it. But tolerations are those things, that we're putting up with every single day. When you think of okay, what is something that you're tolerating? Okay, yeah. Being in New York, first, the example that you used earlier, waking up at a certain time instead of, not having to use an alarm. Because what if you lived a lifestyle where you didn't need to wake up every day from an alarm? Right. That's great. Great. Good for you. So, so a toleration is a thing that you're putting up with in your life, and everybody has tolerations that they're putting up with. And the sad thing is that most people don't realize that tolerations are things that we don't have to put up with. Most people think that is just what we do when we're human beings and we live our life. And the good news is that there are ways to eliminate tolerations, reduce tolerations, handle tolerations, and that's really what the tolerations challenge is about that I'm working on. So it's a really cool way to recognize these things that are bothersome to you or that you're tolerating and be like, okay, hey, that's one of those things. And then once you begin to develop the awareness around it, you're able to make some choices about what action you want to take, and that loop in and of itself is what a person does to be intentional about living their life, to create the life that they want to live. It's just all those steps over and over and over again.
Oh, nice. I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've never heard of the concept of, like, toleration. I've heard, like, enduring or, like, martyrdom, and this is kind of, like, related to that, too. So,
yeah, similar. I would say that tolerations are not quite as heavy as like enduring or martyrdom, because tolerations, for example, could be like a stack of papers on your desk that every time you look at them, you're like, oh my God, like, that's driving me nuts. Or, like a crooked tile. Yeah, see, there you go. Or like a crooked tile, in your bathroom. Or, for some people, it could be some part of their house that they don't like, some behavior from a family member or friend that they're putting up with, or, it's tons of things, but they're usually like little things that we're like, oh, I'm being selfish, I'm just going to ignore that. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, yeah, because it's not big,
right?
But it's not like non-existent.
Exactly. And that's, I'm glad that you made that comment, because I'm also working on creating a VIP coaching intensive at the moment. I just got done beta testing, and I'm getting ready to release the full product, but it's called the Bulletproof Bootcamp, because the little things are the big things. And it's working with people on their personal foundation, which, personal foundation work, just doesn't sound like that sexy or that catchy. People are like, when they come to coaching, they want to, they want world peace, they want, Prince Charming, which is all great, and stuff that we can work towards. And what people don't recognize is that having that strong personal foundation is what really helps get them there. And people, I think, overlook how important that personal foundation is, and the beta testers that I've been working with have really been surprised and blown away by how the little things really are the big things.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so it's really cool work.
About that, like how the little things, they can sort of like, I don't want to say that they like chip away at you or anything, but like they can act as distractions with enough.
Mm-hmm.
Distractions, easy to get like sidetracked or not too clear.
Exactly. Yeah, and the one analogy that I like to use when working with clients is that it's like a foundation of a house, and if you don't have a proper foundation, it causes you to crumble under the weight of stress and distractions and minor annoyances and major problems and everything that all of us put up with in our life. So when your foundation is weak, we can't support the stress. Mm-hmm. Is what ends up happening, and we're giving all this energy, all of our resources to the stack of papers on our desk, to the the car that doesn't work quite right, like to the like all these things. It's like we're giving away all of our energy and all of our resources to this, that we're not able to redirect those resources to living our best quality life. Like you only have so many resources, and if you're spending, even just a chunk of these resources, thinking about this stack of papers, it's taking away from what you really want to be concentrating on.
Yeah, like you kind of remind me of like minimalism.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting rid, or like even have you heard of I'm pretty sure you have heard of this I forget the book title. It's like The Magic of Tidying Up, or like the life-changing magic of tidying up.
Yep. I have heard of it. I haven't read the book yet itself, but I am a minimalist or an essentialist, if you will. I recently finished reading the book Essentialism, because the author, I believe it's Greg McKeown. I think I'm saying that right. Anyways, he argues that it's not about minimalism, it's about less but better. And so it's about what's essential, and it's not about, being small or minimalist to just be minimalist. It's about, being better. So definitely that. And another thing that I think is really interesting, have you heard of like Project 333 or the capsule wardrobes? That's another thing that I'm a big fan of. So The Magic of Tidying Up is a book that I want to read. I just haven't gotten a chance to read it yet. And it's been recommended now, I think maybe 3 times this week. So I think that that's something I should pay attention to. Mm-hmm.
What is most essential is like the thing that sparks joy.
Mm-hmm.
So like it kind of like in addition to essentialism and the thing defining what is essential for that person is are the objects that spark the most joy for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like a wonderful touch because when you surround yourself with stuff that gives you joy, you like treat them with like respect and like your place is always pretty tight. You love everything so much, and I don't know, it's just like
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
Yeah. I don't know if I can keep you. I'm not sure how long we've been recording, but I don't want to keep you on for too long.
Yeah, no, that's perfect timing. It looks like our ticker is showing 26 minutes or so, and I know that there's some other, extra chit-chat in there, and I do want to be, thoughtful of the time as well. So, yeah, I'll turn it over to you for the wrap-up.
Well, first, thank you so much, Katie, for doing a mini coaching session with me. That was very wonderful and pretty insightful for me. And because what's strange is that I knew that you were a coach and you did your coaching through the use of travel. I didn't realize that you were a coach for entrepreneurial women. And that's totally me right now. And I'm doing the jump off between my day job as a graphic designer and my new job, which will be health coaching. So this was entirely applicable,
good,
almost eerie applicable for me. So thank you so much.
Hey, my pleasure. I enjoyed it, and please reach out to me if there's anything else I can do. So.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. And also earlier, thank you for inviting me to your interview series. But yeah, I guess I can ask, how can my viewers, if I do have viewers, as of right now, how can they contact you or find you? Do you have any resources out there?
Yep, they can. My online home is katiemilton.com, which is KatieMilton.com, and I'm pretty much on all the popular social media pages. So look me up, and that's pretty much it.
I'll talk to you at another time, probably not recorded. But yeah, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks so much, Karen. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.